Welcome to Designing AI-Driven Personalized Learning Environments course. In this video, I will talk about learner and pedagogy modules. The learner model, the very important is that who is the learner? If the learner is interacting with the system for say 1 hour and he has performed some 10 actions or 10 questions correctly, what do we know about the learner? So the learner model is very key in the personalized adaptive learning environment. So we need to understand the learners. So diagnosing the learner is very important. So we need to develop this learner model based on the interaction of the system. We talked about clickstream data, or the learner can be performance on the domain model. For example, if a domain model have 10 questions, user's performance on those 10 questions can be considered as a learner model. Match with the domain model, the performance on that. It's called overlay model. Also, we could able to capture the learner's misconceptions. If the learner has some misconceptions, if you're able to identify by using set of actions, if you're able to identify set of patterns, you should capture it. The learner model should inform the student's performance and preferences based on interaction systems. I would like you to pause now. Do you want to store more data about learner other than the interactions, their performance, or to understand the misconception based on patterns? What else would you like to store in learner model? I also want you to think what learner model would look like. Pause the video for a minute and write down your thoughts. So the learner model can have a lot of information about the learners, the interaction data, the facial expressions, the eye gaze data. But the important thing is that are we going to use those data to provide a adaptive content, or using those data to provide a personalized content? And if I'm collecting a lot of data about the learner, imagine there will be a system used by the 100 learners or 1000 learners. The database to store data will be huge. So we need to think about what kind of data is needed, what kind of data I'm going to consider with the learner to provide a personalized feedback. So instead of storing all the data, think about your pedagogical logic, then think about which data is needed to collect from the learner based on interactions or their performance and preferences. Next, we talk about tutoring module or the pedagogy module. Here we want to collect information from the learner module and domain module content and provide adaptive content. This is the brain of this whole personalized adaptive logic. Without pedagogical module, our system is not personalized. There are a lot of systems exist, the MCQ questions in the web-based systems, where we don't need to know about the learner, we don't need to know about the pedagogy logic. You can log into any system, you can answer 10 questions. If you're right, you move to next topic. If not, you move to the same topic. If right, it gives you the correct answer. If not, it will give you hints, more support. These are not personalized learning environments. There should be a personalization logic, and the pedagogical rules should be there. So the pedagogy module is the brain of this whole PAL system. It should tell what is the adaptive strategy you are designing in the class. What is the PED module you want to use to teach the content? Is it generic for the whole topic, or is it very specific to the particular concepts? Can you use the same PED logic to the other subjects or not? Those definitions you have to think. PED module is kind of a decision engine, decides what the learner should do next, and based on this content. It can be multiple adaptations. For example, macro adaptation, a PED logic can look at your performance in the topic fractions, then it can suggest, you could go for the next algebra or something like that. Or within the problem, if you're able to understand your step-to-step problem and kind of give a feedback to it. The goal of the PED logic is to keep the student within the zone of proximal development. Not easy means you're not really trying to write something. Also not too hard so that you don't feel bored. The idea is to provide a lot of scaffolding initially in a particular topic, then slowly remove all the scaffolding so students have to learn on their own. So the PED logic also should decide number of times the feedback should be given, number of times I can intervene. All those decisions has to be decided by the PED logic. So PED logic is kind of adapting the content at the micro level, also providing a lot of support initially when the student is kind of learning. Remove the supports away, like a scaffolding in the building structure. Remove the scaffold slowly so that the learner can learn on their own. Thank you. In this video, I discussed briefly about learner model and the PED module. In the next video, we will talk about the learning analytics, how it is useful for personalized adaptive learning environment.